tragedy of modern Halo. Oh, baby.
21. Gaming technology has and continues to advance at an unprecedented rate. Each hair, wrinkle, and pore can now be rendered in real time, and to a shockingly accurate degree. Megabytes the size of a room have turned into terabytes so small,
Oh, dang.
they can fit in the palm of our hand. 2D sprites to 3D models so realistic,
Whoa, that's
they're almost
creepy.
indeterminate from reality. Light simulated so authentically, we'd think for once we were actually outside.
Oh my god, this was such a good trailer for a game. I can't wait for this shit to come out, dude.
Then there's virtual reality, which is only just getting started. It's at this point in time that a development studio with hundreds of millions of dollars in funding,
Yeah.
armed with hundreds of veteran game developers,
And let's not forget that comparable movies have similar budgets as this industry. Like 343, big box office movies have similar budgets.
and backed by a $1 trillion corporation, is currently having issues adding a team deathmatch playlist to their game.
Yes. I didn't even play Halo Infinite, and when they said that they weren't coming out with just a regular Team Slayer on release, I was beside myself. I literally just could not believe it. Team Slayer has been one of the pinnacle game modes for Halo. I think I've played Team Slayer. This is the mode that I've played for every Halo, like Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3. What was the one that was before, supposed to be 4-1? Halo, not Ghost. It's Halo Reach. I have played back in the day so much Team Slayer, and this is a staple in the Halo series, and for them to not come out with it on the release of Halo Infinite, it was just hilarious to me.
The game had been built from the ground up to be a platform for the next 10 years of the franchise, and the developers are currently suggesting the user interface of the game is bringing the feasibility of a team deathmatch playlist into question. The state of things isn't looking great, but to understand just how massive a tumble this franchise is having, we have to go back to the start.
Oh. Don't go back to Halo 1. Are you gonna go back to Halo 1? Oh, man. Oh, we're going back to Halo 1. I remember this load screen. That was such a good load screen.
The year is 1997, and Bungie is a small but fairly well-known development studio in the PC and Mac market. They're located in central Chicago, having recently moved from the south side, where they were situated behind a crack house. Regardless, they're now starting work on their next game. Now, there are only around 50 people working at Bungie at this point. However, their project gets the attention of Steve Jobs. He's interested, and at Macworld in 1999, he has a little something to show off.
Yeah, the Halo theme, man. So iconic.
Now at this point, Halo is a top-down, real-time strategy game, but the people at Bungie are liking it so much, they keep wanting to get closer to the action. It then becomes a third-person shooter. Closer. A first-person shooter? Perfection.
Yeah.
Also, it turns out that the Macworld presentation had turned a few heads, and now
I never saw the very first presentation of Halo because I was just too young at the time. When I started playing Halo, I think I was in middle school? I want to say middle school, I think. And I got my green Xbox. I don't know if you can see it. It's down there somewhere. It's there. My green Halo edition Xbox or whatever. So I was a fan. I took that bitch to my friend's house and played so many LAN parties. So much fun.
Microsoft are interested. They slip Bungie some money, and in 2000, they're theirs. Bungie packs up and moves to Washington, and Halo is repurposed as an exclusive launch title for the original Xbox. Steve hears about this, and he's not happy.
Oh, dang. I had no idea that that was a thing. That's actually hilarious.
He apparently calls the CEO of Microsoft directly, and has a go at him for about half an hour. But nonetheless, on November 15th, 2001, the original Xbox comes out.
Bro, look at The Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson peddling the Xbox. Could you imagine that now? Like, big name movie actors peddling like video games or whatever, or consoles or whatever. Actually, I'm surprised like Henry Cavill hasn't like came out with anything like this, you know? Like, because you know he's like all like Witcher and whatnot. Well, was anyway. Do you think that the Witcher people would, you know, try to have Henry Cavill do like a little spot or like a little teaser trailer or something of Henry Cavill, like, hey guys, this is the new Witcher, come check it out. I think that would be awesome.
And Halo ships with it. Players boot up the game and jump into the campaign.
Oh, yes.
The year is 2552, and humanity is now in space. We jump into the shoes of Master Chief Petty Officer John Halo. He's brought out of cryosleep on the Pillar of Autumn, a ship in the midst of fleeing a planetary invasion from the alien Covenant. Cortana, Chief's new AI, has led it to a mysterious, ancient ring world called Halo.
Oh, that's why they call it that.
And they land on it via an escape pod.
Yep.
The campaign is action-packed, interestingly plotted. The levels are huge and open.
Yeah.
And it's accompanied by a score literally channeled from the heavens by Marty O'Donnell and Michael Salvatore.
Oh, yeah.
The multiplayer only had 3 to 4 people working on it for a total of 6 months, and was actually on the verge of being completely cut just 2 days before the game was finished.
I had no idea. Dude, the multiplayer for Halo 1 was so goated. There was so much things that you could just do in that game mode that I didn't like I could go back now and play Halo 1 with like the head that I have now, and it would be just play completely different than when I was a little kid. Oh, man.
However, it made it in, and turns out it's a smash hit. People system link their Xboxes together to form 16-player LAN parties and go crazy.
Yes.
Design-wise, Halo's multiplayer is an arena shooter. There's no sprint and no weapon loadouts.
Yep.
Want a better weapon? Better get out there and find one.
Yeah.
There's also a ton of vehicles to play around with.
Yeah.
Scorpions, Banshees, Ghosts. See that truck? That's a fan favourite. There's a ton of interesting maps, and a huge variety of game modes to play on them.
I think for its time, Halo 1 did multiplayer, brought multiplayer FPS to the masses, and they not only did they do it with like just people, like boots on the ground, they incorporated vehicles in a lot of the levels too. So it was Battlefield before Battlefield was Battlefield. Okay? Man, this is just nostalgia running through my veins right now.
Slayer, Capture the Flag, King of the Hill.
Yeah.
And more. Fancy something with a bit more bang? Bigger maps, more vehicles, and 16 players in big team battle has you sorted.
It was so
the formula
fun.
for Halo multiplayer is set, and it's a blast. But we're not done yet. Combat Evolved's mechanics are also revolutionary. Before Combat Evolved, FPSs on console were more or less a complete clusterfuck. Each stick on your controller would control both movement and aiming at the same time, making aiming incredibly awkward.
Yep.
However,
that was
in Halo, the left stick is solely for movement, the right solely for aiming. There's also an aim assist feature, so now you can actually hit something.
Bro, I tried to teach my mom how to play Halo one time, and what ended up happening was, I think she just pushed both sticks forward. And when I tried to get her, so what ended up happening is she just like walked forward, And since it wasn't like the other stick wasn't perfectly up, it would be like off to the side or something. She ended up like looking up and like just going in circles, or she would push the stick all the way down, or like she'd like start walking backwards and like looking at the ground in circles. Yeah, that was pretty accurate.
In most games at the time, you'd spend a ton of time fuffling through the arsenal of weapons you'd amassed while playing. But in Halo, you can only have 2 at a time. Just hit that Y button and unload. The health system. In Halo, you have a shield that recharges, so you're no longer forced to scour around for a health kit to keep playing, like most games at the time.
Yeah.
A mechanic now ubiquitous in shooters. Add the best graphics, enemy AI, and physics of any console shooter at the time.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, this game wasn't half bad. And so, the game sells. Bigly. It ships more than 5 million copies in the first 3 years, and launches the Xbox with it.
Welcome to Virgin Megastore. Oh my god. Yep, those were the days.
Microsoft's newly acquired investment is looking good. But first, I live in my parents' house, in a generic English suburb, on the first floor. My name is Big Boss. I'm 25 years old. I believe in taking care of myself. A balanced diet, a rigorous exercise routine,
True.
and good wireless earbuds.
True.
In the morning, if I'm a little bored, I'll put on my Raycons while doing my stomach crunches. Thanks to their sweat resistance, I can do 1,000 now. On the off chance the batteries are running low, before my shower I'll take them off and charge them. Fully charged, they'll be good for 8 hours.
I think this is one of the most funniest like product sponsors. Like period. It's so funny.
With 32 more still in the case. I then reapply them while I prepare the rest of my routine. I mostly use the balanced sound profile. It stabilizes the natural highs and lows of the songs that aren't mixed exactly to my liking, for a warm, balanced sound. When I'm listening to something else, like a podcast, I'll use the pure sound
Hey, that was a good ass episode.
profile. It's crystal clear, and I can hear everything. Then lastly, I'll use the bass sound profile, usually for when a song is particularly dirty. The seamless touch controls make changing between them effortless. In noise isolation mode, there is an idea of external sound. Some kind of abstraction. But there is no real sound. Only an entity. Something illusory. And though I can hide my confused gaze, and you can shake my hand and see me nod my head, and maybe you can even sense I'm listening, I simply can not hear. Click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/bigboss to get 15% off your Raycon purchase today. When
Nice.
Bungie started developing Combat Evolved, it was supposed to be a standalone game, but after its huge sales numbers, Microsoft sees $signs. Hey, you got any more of that Halo? And Bungie gets to work. For Halo 2,
Oh my god, Halo 2. I think this was the first time that I looked forward to like a sequel in a game. From the first time I played Halo until they announced Halo 2, that was the first time I actually got hyped for a game.
Bungie gathers round. The ideas are big, ambitious. This game was going to be bigger, better, cooler. However, fast forward about a year or two into development, and problems are surfacing. Alright boys, we've just shown our E3 demo to the world, and they absolutely love it. Here's the thing, our graphics engine doesn't actually work, and we're going to have to scrap the entire game and start from scratch. They tell Microsoft the game has to be delayed by a year, and get to work.
See, now at this point, I don't remember if the internet was like a big thing. Probably for the older audience, like if you were about like 20 to 30 when Halo 1 came out, and then you followed along like all the announcements and whatnot, then I could understand if you were pissed for them delaying it. But I was a little kid, well, in middle school or whatever. I didn't know about keeping up with games and them announcing it, them delaying it, and all this other whatever. So I was just blissfully ignorant. I was just waiting for that shit to just drop. I'm like, where is it? Where is it? Is it coming this year? Is it coming next year? When is it?
The crunch is on. They work around the clock building the entire game from the ground up again, shifting the story around and scrapping things left, right and centre. In the end, almost 50% of the game's planned content is cut.
Dang.
Story-wise, they end up axing the entire third act. They're so loaded with work that employees are in office constantly, and Bungie's 2 side projects have to be killed off entirely to bring more team members onto Halo. In the end, 90% of the final game is made in just 9 months.
Dang.
But in November 2004, after a huge marketing push, Halo 2 is everywhere. It's covered on late night talk shows, news channels, billboards, and it's plastered all over Times Square. And on the 9th, it launches. And despite the development nightmare, they've done it again.
Yeah.
Halo 2 launches with another highly rated campaign.
Straight banger of a game. I was so excited when Halo 2 dropped. It was awesome. Like, they came out with the dual wield thing that you couldn't do in Halo 1. You had like the SMGs and the pistols, and you just get some guns or whatever. And then what was this? Was this the birth of the noob combo where they came out with a BR, like, wasn't the battle rifle in like debuted in this game, I think? And what you did was you had a plasma pistol that you charge up, and then you peek someone, lock on, blast them with a pistol, and then you swap to your battle rifle, and then you just pop them in the head. And it was, I think, the fastest time to kill for like a Halo combo or whatever. And yeah, I was just awesome. It was so fun.
This time we take the fight to Earth as the Covenant has absolutely no chill for real. The campaign fleshes out the story by giving the player a glimpse into the Covenant's side, where we play half of it as a Covenant elite as he realises that his religion is a lie, and that their goal to activate the rings would actually just destroy most of the galaxy. The campaign ends on an infamously controversial cliffhanger due to the game's content cuts.
Over. Isolate that signal. Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir. No.
No.
The music is on par with the first one,
Yeah.
apart from one key difference.
Oh yeah, this was the one with the Breaking Benjamin thing. Oh man, I remember that. The first time I hit that mission and got to that point, and randomly just Breaking Benjamin starts playing like an awesome like rock song in the middle of a Halo fight. I was like, there were just goosebumps all over my skin. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Some aspects of the campaign are controversial upon reception, but on the multiplayer side, oh boy. Halo 2 is one of the first games to utilise the brand spanking new Xbox Live, and Halo goes online. People from all around the world come together through the wonders of the internet to universally trash talk you and your mother through game chat.
Oh yeah, this is true. Wasn't this also the birth of Trash Talk Online? Like the Halo 2 Trash Talk lobbies? And ironically, people still reference Halo 2 as still being like the best ranked system for an FPS game. Still. Oh man.
Halo 2 also introduces player-created custom games, and after matchmaking online, you'll often find yourself with a ton of invites to fun custom lobbies.
Oh yeah.
Halo 2's multiplayer matchmaking is so popular that in 2006, it becomes Major League Gaming's first televised console league. Red vs. Blue, an online web series made within Halo 1, has also launched by this point, and is quickly becoming one of the most popular web series
I
of all
remember
time,
that.
eventually landing on Netflix. As a result of all of this, Halo 2 has bigger first-day revenues than any movie had ever had at the box office, and is sitting at the biggest 24 hours of revenue in entertainment retail history.
Oh yeah.
$125 million in sales, and 2.3 million units sold. Now 2 for 2,
Crazy.
Bungie has a proven track record. Microsoft, now drowning in money and sales, commissioned a third game instantaneously.
Make
And
another
after
one.
3 years, in 2007, Halo 3 is served. It's one of the most anticipated game launches of all time, with a colossal ad campaign to go with it. The launch sees queues at almost every games retailer, and streets filled with people waiting to.
Yeah, if you thought Halo 2 was big and bad, Halo 3 was that on steroids. It was just awesome. The graphics were better, the gameplay was better. It just took everything that Halo 2 did correctly and added more polish onto it.
To get their copy. But at midnight on the 25th of September 2007, it launches. Halo 3 flies off the shelves instantly, and first day sales reach as high as $170 million in the US,
Crazy.
setting another record for the highest gross of an entertainment product. While some parts of Halo 3's plot and writing is underwhelming,
Ma'am, squad leaders are requesting a rally point. Where should they go?
To war.
Yeah, well, when you put it like that, yeah, that's pretty shitty. But at the time, as a little kid, wait, how old was I at this point? I was like out of high school. It had to have been, maybe in the beginning of high school. I don't remember. Or was it? Whatever.
Bungie. You just posted cringe.
Halo 3 finishes the trilogy off with a bang. A stellar campaign with some of the best missions in the series, and an ending to the series with proper closure. Multiplayer is again amazing.
Straight
A
banger.
social experience with pre and post game lobbies where everyone has a mic, and trash talking is ubiquitous.
Yep.
Halo 3 also adds Forge, a way for players to create their own maps.
I was never smart enough to use Forge, but I was smart enough to download the maps off of Forge. That's literally how I played it.
And Theatre, a way to rewatch and clip previous
Oh
games.
yeah.
You can also now unlock different armors for your Spartan via
That was so
achievements.
cool. You weren't shit unless you had full Hayabusa, and there was a helmet that was better than the Hayabusa one. It was like a flaming head, I think. If you got that one, that was the one that meant you were like the king shit.
As opposed to just choosing your Spartan's colours like in 2 and 1. Custom games are expanded with a file sharing feature on Bungie.net, with players having their own specific file share pages where they can share and save others' screenshots, film clips, and map and game variants. This inevitably ends in interesting uploads. Halo 3 goes on to sell more than 4 million copies in the first few weeks. And Halo is everywhere. People that never even...
Like, just Halo 3 alone came out with way more features than Halo Infinite did. How sad is that as like a Halo player?
so much as picked up a controller had heard the theme.
I like it.
And knew John Halo. Halo had become more than a game. It was a cultural phenomenon. However, a month after, Bungie comes out with some news. On October the 5th of that same
they
year,
sold it.
they announced their decision to split with Microsoft and become an independent company. As per the deal, they'd make 2 more Halo games and then dib. Microsoft would retain all rights to Halo post-split.
They had to. I don't know. They did. I don't know if they had to or not.
Bungie had released the smaller spin-off, Halo ODST, a couple of years after.
I didn't even play Halo ODST because I was so engulfed in the Halo lore. Like, I read the books when when those books came out. And if you read the books and played the games just felt so much better because there was all this like backstory that came along with it. You actually learned how was it Master Chief came to be. You learn his origin story. You learn like all the things that he did up into every point in the game. Like if you played the game first, well, I played the games first and then read the books second. And as I was reading the books and I came across certain points where it was describing scenes, I would remember the level that I played it in, and it was just awesome.
3, but Halo Reach was Bungie's true send-off. Now this game is a bit controversial. New game mechanics like sprint, some annoying armor abilities, and weapon accuracy decay divides the player base and damage.
Yep, Bloom. Everybody knows Bloom. You know, the reticle starts out this, but the more you shoot, it'll go, oh, there's your reticle. It's gigantic now. And it's so random and so fun. How about that?
Which is the professional scene. Then there's a lack of maps in the game, and a ton of those maps are half-assed at best, being made in Forge. The campaign is highly rated, being the prequel to the first game and ending immediately before that game begins. But it's also controversial due to its story heavily deviating from the books.
Yeah.
Reach is also jam-packed with features. The player's customization is vastly expanded. A new massive Forge world map. The Wave Survival Mode Firefight returns from ODST. A multiplayer with a variety of maps and game modes. Forge, custom games, and a theatre to film all of it. At this point, the formula for a Halo game had been cemented.
Yep.
It had been almost 10 years of Halo, and Bungie had gone from a small group of friends to a team of less than 50 people in the south side of Chicago, to a fully fledged AAA world-renowned studio with almost 200 employees. They'd revolutionized graphics, physics, console multiplayer, console control schemes, and general FPS mechanics. They had created something massive, Microsoft's biggest game IP by far. However, they were now gone. Bungie hands Microsoft the keys and says their goodbyes.
The one last hurrah. Oh boy, here we go. The beginning of the end.
Immediately after Bungie announces their departure, Microsoft gets to work on finding their replacement. However, instead of taking one of their already established studios and giving them the IP, someone has a brilliant idea. Simply build their own. And 343 Industries is born. Microsoft Game Studios manager Bonnie Ross is assigned studio head, and she gets to work shaping the new studio. They approach devs from a ton of AAA studios. Hey, we're building a team. You son of a bitch, I'm in. And after a couple of years, the team is starting to take shape. First up, Frank O'Connor, previously Bungie's content manager, is now franchise development director. Basically, he's gone from doing odd jobs around Bungie to swaying the direction of the entire franchise. Josh Holmes is creative director of their first game. Previous experience? Working at EA Sports on games like NBA and PGA Tour.
Okay, I get it. So essentially he's setting up the premise that coming into 343, people did not have the experience that was required of their newfound positions, and thus we have 343 Halo. That's how all of that spawned. So I had no idea that these people, like, she just went around like trying to poach people from like random studios or whatever, and yeah, this is how it happened. So this is like the really eye-opening part for me.
And Brian Reed, previously a comic book writer for Marvel, is on board as one of the first game's writers. More on him later. Microsoft had handpicked the next generation of Halo developers, and they were going to make sure the next game would be amazing. From 2007 to 2011, 343 Industries goes from around a dozen people to almost 200. They'd hired developers from over 25 AAA studios, and had spent the last 3 years working hard on the next game. And finally, at E3 2011, they have something to show off.
The Xbox 360.
And people are hyped.
Yeah,
People had thought Halo was finished.
I thought Halo was finished, and when I saw Halo 4 come out, that little trailer, I was excited again. Not gonna lie. You know, because like the last game we played was Halo Reach, and after that, it wasn't really John like Spartan's 117's story anymore. But then we saw the trailer for Halo 4, and all of a sudden, oh my God, John is waking up from his coma, and he's being used in the war again. So, what do you call it? I had high expectations, just solely based off of, you know, Halo 1, 2, and 3. I didn't play ODST and Reach.
Finished, that the trilogy had ended. But now we had a new one coming out just next year, and it was from this new mysterious studio. 340 people now on the job, and a cost of about $40 million. But on the 6th of November 2012, Halo 4 goes live. It's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Turns out that before making Halo 4, 343 sat down and had a talk. They'd looked at Halo 3. How can we follow on from this? Make this...
Oh yeah, that was. How do you follow that? That's this was like one of the best Halos up until this point. So how do you just continue on with the story?
even better. What did people like? Iconic art style? That music that everyone loved? Innovation and trend setting? Right. This everything? Let's change all of it. The iconic music, gone. Game design, gone. Art style, gone. And why does the Covenant look completely different? And horrible? Chief went to sleep like this, so why did he wake up like this? Left, right and centre, things are just wrong. The leadership at 343 is also adamant that it's important to not just follow Call of Duty.
So I don't think they missed completely on the mark. It was just, instead of hitting a perfect bullseye, it was not even on the bullseye, but it was still like kind of in the center-ish of the dartboard. It just didn't feel exactly like Halo 3. It wasn't, I don't think it was too far off though.
Duty, which is taking off massively at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. What's that? That's called a kill streak?
Oh yes, I remember now. This is coming off of the back of Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and this was the first game that first Halo game that introduced, I forgot what it's called. He'll probably say it. It wasn't kill streaks. It was like this random loadout drop pod thing where you could get power weapons just delivered to you or whatever. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, they're trying to be like Call of Duty.
Loadouts? Write that down. On the campaign side of things, it's divisive. On one hand, it's a deeper, more personal story about the Master Chief and Cortana. On the other hand, the plot is convoluted and makes little sense, and the mission layout and game design is abhorrent. The new enemies are a drag to fight. Used half of your ammo on this tanky knight? Unlucky. He's just teleported away and regained all of his health.
Bro, this enemy was such a bitch to fight. I hated fighting these enemies, dude. It was so frustrating.
As a result, only long-range weapons are really viable on higher difficulties, and ammo runs out awfully quick.
Yeah.
Oh, and almost every new character is absolutely insufferable.
I thought you'd be taller.
Bruh. The overall mood is also just different. Gone are the witty one-liners and humour.
Oh, I know what the ladies like.
And in their place, Pure, unadulterated melodrama.
There has to be another way. I mean...
I know what you mean, Tom. And I won't see you court-martialed over that woman.
The Covenant looks different. Human soldiers.
When I played Halo 4, I didn't really care about the story. Like, when they tried to introduce all of that bullshit, like what he just said, I think I turned my brain off or whatever, because I was just interested in the action, and that was it. And Halo 3 and 2 and 1 did a great job of like keeping on story. And like he said, all the melodrama between the character, there was very little, if any. It was just concentrate on the war, and that's it.
Look like literal toys. And Spartans are now incredibly ugly plastic Power Rangers. The music also has a totally different feel. When it comes to the multiplayer, Frank O'Connor had specifically talked about not copying COD. Let's look more into that. There's a new system in multiplayer that rewards...
Okay, we're not gonna copy COD, but we're about to copy COD.
...rewards doing well with better weapons. It's the same as kill streaks. There's a new system where you can assign yourself special attributes during games. It's the same as perks. You can also choose what weapons and grenades you start the game with. It's the same as loadouts. There's also a new story mode called Spartan Ops. It's the same as Spec Ops. Sprint is also no longer an armor ability, and is now a default mechanic of the game.
Just get it.
Just like another game.
Oh,
This changes
Jesus.
the integral dynamic of Halo's gameplay.
So I never really thought about it at the time. I just knew Halo 4 felt different than all the previous Halos, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But him explaining it in this way, I now get it. I get it now.
And the game is faster paced and the map's larger due to the fact. Even the control scheme of the game itself, straight from Call of Duty.
They're the same picture.
Then there's the host of weapon balancing issues, things
Oh,
like
that
file
thing.
share not working at launch. There's few maps. Theatre and Forge are both lackluster, and actually a downgrade from Halo Reaches. And there's no firefight. They would finally fix the file share issues in late January, 3 months after release. The weapon imbalance isn't properly addressed until months after that. However, on the hype and brand recognition alone, the game sells vast amounts of copies, selling even quicker than Halo 3. One issue. People are not sticking around. After just 1 week, the game's population craters to half of day one's.
Dang.
In total, Halo 4 lasts a whole 2 months in the top 3 of the Xbox Live games.
What happened? Halo 4, what happened?
Halo 3 didn't fall out of the top 3 until Halo Reach released. That was 3 years after its release. Roughly a year after release, Halo 3 had a 1.1 million peak population.
Okay. So, for Halo 4, wasn't this... Didn't the internet start to get like bigger and bigger at this time? Like YouTube was starting to become a thing. Like forums, people were sharing more of their ideas online more and more. So I would also say that because the internet was starting to become more prevalent and people starting to metagame more and more, that contributes to the speed of the player's understanding of the game and wanting to play the game in the most optimal way. So I think that had a big issue, or not a big issue, that had a big impact on Halo 4 and why we saw such a meteoric rise and such a steep drop off in the game as well.
Day. Reach had a 900,000 peak population day after the same amount of time. Halo 4 clocks in at 20,000.
Oh, what happened?
343, not off to a good start.
That's strike one. All right, that's one.
Before the launch of the next Halo game, 343...
Okay, I don't remember playing Halo 5. I don't think I played Halo 5. because when 4 launched and I got it and I played it a little bit and I got done with it, I was like, okay, I think I'm done with Halo.
3 announces the Master Chief Collection. This includes Combat Evolved, which 343 had already remastered, a brand new Halo 2 remaster, with new graphics, music, audio.
I do remember playing like all of these. Like there was the Halo 1 remake or whatever, the Halo 2 remake thing, and then the Master Chief Collection. I do remember getting Master Chief Collection years later, though. I was not on the bandwagon when it first dropped.
Creamy Blur Studios animated cutscenes, and Halo 3, all bundled together into a single game for the Xbox One, combining 6 years of Halo into one package. The 11th of November 2014 comes around, and the MCC launches, with Halo 2 launching
exactly as it shipped 10 years ago.
What is it? More brutes?
Worse.
Are these all the bugs that came out with MCC? Oh my god. This is why you don't play and buy modern games on day one. Seldom do they ever work correctly on day one. You know what would have done these guys right? If they did that stupid pre-order thing. If you pre-order the game, you get to play it 3 days early. Bullshit. So in that time, all of the pre-order bros have to suffer through all the bullshit. So then that gives 343 a couple days to try to fix it real quick before the actual launch of the game. That they could have wholly benefited from that noise. What is this?
What happened?
Okay. Nothing works. Got you. I'm kind of really happy I waited years later to pick up MCC and play it and enjoy it when it was fully complete. Oh, I'm just loving it.
Why can't I get a match? It's been a week later.
What?
And this game still ain't fucking working, bro.
But get past all of that and actually make it into a game? Well, there are issues here too. If you're the host of a lobby, you can boot anyone in a game out at any time. Kick out everyone on the other team, and you've just won a game.
Oh,
For
Jesus.
players playing competitive ranked, this is a big problem. But hold on, didn't 343 claim that games would run on dedicated servers before launch?
All running at 1080p, 60 frames per second on dedicated servers.
Bro, if any game could do that now, that game would just be popping off. I swear to God. You know, what is the most optimized FPS multiplayer competitive game right now? Counter-Strike, Valorant, and that's it, really. Like, they're optimized. They have their like super servers or whatever. I know Counter-Strike has their like little subtick things that they just released or whatever. I don't know, Valorant. And then yeah, those are the only competitive popular FPSs that I know of.
Frank O'Connor comes out and says that, yes, your games normally do run on dedicated servers, but sometimes they would fall back to peer-to-peer networking. The ability to kick people out of the game was simply due to a UI bug. One issue. MCC doesn't have any of the infrastructure for peer-to-peer to actually work properly. For example, host migration. The system that kicks out hosts when their internet isn't strong enough to host a stable lobby. In the MCC, this is completely absent. Your host's uploading his latest YouTube Let's Plays. Unlucky. You're playing the rest of the entire game lagging everywhere.
Is that why that
happened?
happened?
Gone to the dashboard. Your screen is now pitch black until he comes back. The host just left. well, the game's over entirely.
Oh, this is true. This little scene right here. I am not above having gamer moments. All right, I've had a lot of these in the past, and I am happy to say I am reformed. So yeah.
They release a few fixes over the next few months, and then port ODST over and release it for free to say sorry.
Sorry.
But the game is still completely fucked, and remains in an abhorrent state for years to come. 343 pretends to forget that ever launched the MCC, and get together again for the next Halo. Okay guys, see this?
Yeah.
People hate this. We can do better.
Don't do
and
this.
And they make it clear in interviews and articles they'd heard us, and we're going to get it right this time. They say they've learned from their mistakes.
It won't happen again.
And this was going to be the return to Halo. The music was back, the story was epic, and the multiplayer was going to be amazing. Also,
sure,
all post-launch content is completely free. Oh yeah. Then there's the Hunt the Truth marketing campaign. Chief's gone rogue. He's being hunted by another Spartan. He's in a cloak. People are intrigued.
So I saw all of this. Like the marketing, the commercials, the so on and so forth. I was just not interested at this point. I didn't really care about it. It's simple.
A really well-written Hunt the Truth audio series also comes out about a journalist finding out the truth about the Chief going rogue. Nice, the story actually sounds quite cool. And in November 2015, the game hits shelves. And virtually all of Halo 5's marketing is completely irrelevant. Hunt the Truth? An apt name apparently, because there was none here. Instead of the epic chase down of a rogue chief as shown in the marketing, Halo 5 comes packaged with one of the worst stories in a video game to date.
What the fuck?
First off, in previous games, all you had to do was play the last game and you knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But here, haven't read the last 3 books, the Spartan Locke movie,
yeah,
the series and everything else before playing.
I didn't read any of these books. I didn't do the little Hunt the Truth thing. I didn't read any of these books because, you know, Halo Reach came out and that happened. Halo 4 came out. That was a thing. And I was just disinterested. Just not having it.
Nothing personal, kid. Halo 5 starts off by showing us a team of Spartans we've never met before, bar one. And the first cutscene shows them killing off an elite that the entire Halo 4 Spartan Ops campaign had been building up. We then end up playing as these guys for 13 missions of the game, leaving only 3 to play as Master Chief. There are also 7 boss fights in the game, but turns out we're literally fighting the exact same guy in every one.
Oh my god, is that what they did? That's so funny. Are all of his moves the same in every mission? I have no idea because I never played this game, so I'm just asking. Did they literally just keep the same moveset from boss fight to boss fight, or was it like at least a little bit different? You know, in this one he's got like this sword, and this one he's got a gun, and in this one does he have a lance, or is that just the same sword? I don't know.
By the end of the campaign, it turns out that Cortana, who died at the end of Halo 4, is now back alive, and she's now evil and causing an AI uprising. For some reason. Bungie literally joked about how bad of a plot twist this was more than a decade earlier.
There was an alternate very early in the version of the story where when he rediscovered Cortana, she'd like gone berserk with power and wanted to take over Halo in the universe.
What happened to that story?
It was too good.
5's writing and plot is so awful, it actually causes irreparable damage to the franchise. Head writer Brian Reed gets so much backlash for writing the game, he eventually has to step down.
Oh boy.
The music, however, is a bit better.
Oh, that's good.
For the multiplayer, 343 had sat down again. They'd already stripped the art style and the gameplay. What was left? Split screen. A feature that every Halo game to date had included. Perfect. Also, people weren't too happy with the sprint in Halo 4. Okay, we'll keep that in and nerf it a bit. And let's add a ton more things.
Okay, ground slam, slide, dashing, smart scope, charge, climb, jetpack, So, to me, as just like a knee-jerk thing, all of these kind of seem like drastic gameplay changes where if these were in the first Halo, everybody would be fine with them. But since they weren't, and you're fundamentally changing the gameplay of it, it's going to be met with a lot of resistance because all of these things essentially are making the game faster. So it's harder to shoot people. You know, you have your before it was just was it your left and right and foreground and background movement pattern with Halo, and now you're going to add jetpacks where there's just like this up down pattern, so you have to think in a 3D space now. You have ground slam, slides, dashing, smart scope, charging. It feels like I'm just playing another Call of Duty ripoff. Like, can I slide cancel in this game? Can I dolphin dive in this game? Whenever you let players move quicker, it takes way more skill to actually hit them. And it's not the more you can move, the easier it is to shoot someone. It's actually the opposite. The more you let the player move, the harder it is to actually shoot someone if you're the other person or you're the guy moving fast.
Advanced movement. This brings ground pound, charge, float thrusters, and clamber, meaning the movement is now so far removed from Halo that it's a different beast entirely. Also,
that's a lot of movement.
Let's get hundreds of armor sets into the game. Let's also outsource all of that armor development to another company. With this much armor being requested, it naturally results in art designers getting desperate.
Yeah.
And making some questionable designs in an attempt to hit quotas.
Okay, what is this one? This one's like weird. Where's the visor? This is just, is this the visor? This is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's some dots. This one looks like a shitty stormtrooper. This one is weird. This one is weird. Yeah, these are just really weird.
Some are absolutely terrifying. The Seeker helmet is particularly infamous and memed instantly. Air fryer, speaker, coffee machine.
Oh my god. Okay, so this was the OG helmet right here. And oh my god, it actually does look like a speaker set or a coffee machine, like a Keurig. Oh my god. Thank god I didn't waste my time with this dog shit.
No one knows. Armor customization is also dumbed down to only body armor, helmet, and visor. That's a massive downgrade from 4, which let you pick helmet, shoulders, torso, legs, forearms, and visor. Also, again, there's the actual look of it all. Plastic. Plastic everywhere. The iconic rocket launcher from all the way back in Combat Evolved is also now the gutter pipe on your parents' roof.
Really?
The classic Chief armor is in the game, but it seems a little off.
What? A little off? This is just horrible. This is like the shitty Chinese brand Master Chief. This is like you go into the store and the little kid's like, "Mom, can we get Spartan 117?" And then mom goes, "No, we got Spartan 117 at home." Meanwhile, this is Spartan 117 at home. Like, what?
We won't get into the ODST armor. The game is also bare. Multiplayer only includes 4 game modes at launch.
But at least they had Slayer.
This is less than Halo 1 back in 2001.
Dang.
Even missing staples like Big Team Battle. There's no firefight, custom games browser, or Forge at launch either.
What dog shit.
343 add these in months down the line and package it in as post-launch support. When Big Team Battle actually does come, all of its maps had been made in Forge, meaning they looked like they were made in Roblox.
Ew.
Jesus Christ. Despite the lack of...
Yeah, there's this whole like notion in modern gaming where they will take a game, like a game sequel, like the next game that they're working on, they will use the previous game as like a frame. they will take features out of it and use that frame and stick it into the new game. So on day one, the new game has less features and content in it, and they reintroduce all of those cut content things and features that were in the base game, and they just reintroduce it as new content, which is horrible, because that is essentially the same thing as somebody cutting your arm off and then giving you a piece of it back a little by little. Okay, here's like your bicep and tricep back. Oh, that's still not my arm. Okay, here's your forearm. Yeah, it's still not my hand. Okay, here's a couple fingers, but that's not all my fingers. Okay, here, just take all your fingers. Okay, now we're back at square one where that game, the other game was. What are you gonna do new this time? We can't. We're too busy making the new game store. We're too busy making all the new cosmetics and so on and so forth. We're too busy. We're too busy.
Of content, and while being completely different to the rest of the series, the
True.
multiplayer is actually quite highly rated. It plays well, has well-designed maps, and is well-balanced and very competitive. There's a new game mode called Warzone, basically a larger-scale big team battle on massive maps. This game mode is really well-received.
Oh, that's good.
Fans designate it pay-to-win, as guns are unlocked in rec packs that are...
Oh, that's stupid. Oh, there were loot boxes and shit? Oh, man. That sucks for Halo players, dude.
buyable with real cash. All customization is also unlocked with the rec pack system, meaning that most armor unlocks are now completely random.
That's dumb.
Have a problem with this pay-to-win system?
Yep.
This is 343's response.
Wait, won't rec packs with special weapons break the exquisitely refined balance of arena multiplayer?
Secure your noise hole, soldier. Grown-ups are talking.
Damn it.
Right, that was it.
I actually had no idea that Halo 5 was pay to win.
Halo fans, done. It was apparent the dream had come to an end. Halo was over.
Yep. Oh no, it was over since Halo 4 started.
Okay, this was bad. 343 holds an emergency meeting. Okay, fellas.
Okay, but where are the numbers of record sales and the amount of time it took for those record sales to just completely fall off a cliff into the 10 to 20k concurrent player base? Where are those numbers? I'd be curious.
Halo 5, again, not too great. And fans are leaving us en masse. This next game has to actually deliver. And deliver it would. 21st of February 2017, and Halo Wars 2 comes out. A sequel to the spin-off strategy game released in 2009. Is that the old art style? A new story more akin to the games of...
So I was aware of the Halo Wars game and Halo Wars 2, but since I played, the only RTS I really played was this Lord of the Rings one on console, like on Xbox back in the day. I thought that was all right, but I saw Halo come out with one, and I was not interested. RTS is a very niche genre, so I was just like, oh, that's good for the RTS bros that like RTSs, but I don't know if you're gonna capture anybody from Halo into playing an RTS. So if that's your move, I mean, if the game was good, it's good, then it's the W for the Halo community, but I don't know.
1 to 3. Together with a new enemy.
It just wasn't for me.
Cool cutscenes. Non-cringe dialogue. What was going on? Now, this game is actually developed by a studio called Creative Assembly, not 343, but nonetheless, things were looking up. The game does away completely with the story of 5, and sets up a decent looking story for Halo 6. And a couple of days after its launch, Bonnie Ross confirms that they'd learned their lesson.
Did
Unlike
you now?
5, all new Halo games would have split screen. Let's go, boys.
Surely.
October the 23rd, 2017, and 343 announces they'd attempt to fix the MCC again. At this point, the MCC hadn't seen an update in more than 2 years.
Oh dang.
It was still completely broken. But almost a year later, in August 2018, their big patch goes live. It's 37 gigabytes big, and it fixes a ton of networking issues, bugs, and completely overhauls the menus. 4 years after the game launched, and the game finally actually worked.
I think this was the time I bought Master Chief Collection. I remember it now. This was the time I played Master Chief Collection.
In March 2019, 343 has another announcement, and this one is big.
The legendary saga. Coming
Fans
to PC.
immediately begin calling local pizza joints
and
ordering pizza to 343's offices en masse.
Pizza time.
So much pizza is being delivered, 343 actually has to tell fans to stop.
That's why.
Of course.
That's why I played it, because it came to PC.
The PC version launches with a ton of bugs. One particularly bad one where, if you shoot the floor, it will damage anyone else in the lobby also looking at the floor.
I killed the flag carrier. I killed the flag carrier.
Vehicles also driving themselves. There are crashes, graphical issues, etc, etc. However, these are quickly patched. It was clear. Something within 343 had seemingly changed, and a sense of cautious optimism was brewing among fans. And with a huge next-gen sequel that would be the platform for the next 10 years of Halo being...
Okay, this whole next-gen bullshit, this is just like stupid marketing terms that the developers, or maybe it's not the developers, maybe it's the publishers, that they try to use to make the game seem bigger and better, to like hype you up or whatever. So I'm like 30 plus years old, and these terms kind of just ring hollow to me. I don't care about next gen. Just what are you doing to the game to make it good? That's all I care about. What are you doing to the gameplay? Is the gameplay gonna be good? Is the story gonna be good? That's all I care about. I don't care about your stupid marketing terms.
Cooked up behind the scenes, it looked like Halo was finally back on track.
Oh, is that it? Oh, there's another video. Okay. I might have to watch that one later. But, oh my god. Yeah, this was a great... what do you call it? Like, narration, evaluation, coming together of the history of Halo up until the point of Halo Infinite. And oh my god, I can't wait to watch this one later. This one's gonna be awesome, because at least with this video, you have like at least half of the video that is about the OG trilogy, which was the GOAT. All right, and then you got like the second half, which is like 4 and 5, and which was dog shit, and then you got Halo Wars 2, I guess was good. But yeah, this was an awesome video, and this is just like nostalgia baiting for me. But yeah, this was awesome. I like it. I want to see more. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. All right, so I'll see you in the next one. All right, take it easy. Later.